Recorded Books presents My Heart Beats for You by Tina Marie, narrated by Ace Bentley and Lacy Laurel.
Chapter 1. Inaya. I could feel the heat from the sun wake me up. The sun represented hope for me. Hope and a safe place. I was afraid of the dark, and most nights I stayed awake all night, waiting for the sun to peek through the blinds before I could finally close my eyes and get some rest. I yawned as I cuddled closer to Kadia on the hard floor. I could feel her little legs stretching out until she was kicking me. She had her tiny arms wrapped around my neck, and I could feel the sweat from her body dripping onto me, mingling with my sweat. It was already hot before the sunbeams helped roast us further. Mmm. Kadia whimpered in her sleep as she rolled onto her belly, and her head flopped off of the pillow and hit the carpeted floor. Only a kid would still sleep after their head bounced onto the rough carpet in a house that was 100+ degrees inside. Slowly easing away from her so she wouldn't wake up, I sat against the side of the bed. These were the times that guilt threatened to drown me. But what could I do? The alarm on my phone wouldn't stop going off, and I knew it was time to get Kadia ready for school while I was supposed to go on a job interview. I wanted to call my cousin Sane, but my battery was at 50%, and with the electricity off, I couldn't afford to let it die. Just thinking of our new daily routine made the tears drip from my eyes. I hated hearing Kadia cry out when I had to wash her in the dark bathroom in cold water. She deserved better than that. The electricity ran the water heater and the furnace and everything else we needed to survive in this place. We had beds in our own rooms, but I was afraid to let Kadia sleep in a pitch-black house in a room all alone. What if she got scared and tried to find me? She could fall down the stairs or trip over a toy on the floor and get hurt. As for the bed in my room, we slept on the floor because it was just too hot right now to sleep on a bed. Shit, heat rises. Thank God the school provided breakfast and lunch for Kadia. I worked in a daycare, so I also had those 2 meals provided for me. When it came to dinner, we struggled. Sometimes I went to the corner store and would buy us Hot Pockets and cold subs with my food stamp card, and then use the Arab store's microwave to heat up anything that needed to be warmed before we went home. The funny thing was, I had over $1,000 in food stamps on my card, but I couldn't buy groceries because the fridge wouldn't work without electricity. So month after month, they just kept giving me food stamps, knowing I had nowhere to store the food. I used some of them to buy food for Kadia at my mother's house when she went over there, and I used the rest to buy us food from the corner store. But if I didn't use them by the next month, I would lose the old ones. They only stayed on the card for 4 months before they were forfeited back to the state. On the nights I had class, I used the credit on my student ID to buy chips and snacks out of the vending machine. I swore those snacks would keep me awake, especially in my child psych class. I wasn't sure why that was needed to become a science teacher, but it was. The best thing about those nights while I was in class was that Kadia got to eat good at my mom's house, a real home-cooked dinner, and I was grateful for that. Kadia, wake up, baby, I told my 4-year-old daughter while gently picking her up off the floor. I took the time to run my hand over her pigtails, pushing the barrettes out of her face. My lips made smacking noises as I kissed her chubby little cheeks. Morning, Mama. I'm hungry, and it's so hot. When will the fans work again? She didn't even whine while asking. In my mind, I was asking the same shit, but with a different attitude. Soon, baby. Mama is working on a new job, I said, while giving her a reassuring smile. I wished I could snap my fingers and just have the money to pay the light bill, or buy anything Kadia wanted and needed. Unfortunately, life wasn't that easy. I was lucky if I got 30 hours a week at the daycare, and I only made $8 an hour, which was barely enough to put gas in the car to get to work and school and pay my portion of the rent. I knew someday this would not still be our situation, but today, it was. As I looked in the mirror,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?